One of Congressman Issa's favorite songs, the intro to it anyway, Hotel California. It is 25 to the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. A new affiliate begins today, Charles.
All right.
94.3 FM, WTRW, in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Pennsylvania. 94.3 The Talker. Important ideas, entertaining talk. Well, why are we on?
An excellent addition.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. But we're happy to be on, though. Well, that's 6,917 radio stations
Beautiful.
now. All right, please welcome from the 49th District out in Southern California, San Diego County, Riverside County. I was born in Riverside. Representative Darrell Issa. Good morning, Congressman Issa.
Good morning, Don, and thanks for having me back.
Well, we liked you last time, so we must have liked you.
I'll try to behave well enough that Bob Gorski, my old commanding officer who lives outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania, hears me on the radio.
Oh, well, that's good. So, did Stupak get hoodwinked?
Well, he certainly sold out for less than what he said he wanted. That argument, sadly, on the Democratic side is usually disingenuous when it comes to the life question. It was never something I think that we thought was going to end well, just because there is a party that is recognized as arguing and debating and trying to reach a conclusion between ourselves on the life question that's satisfactory. Not so much in the Democratic Party.
Did you hear whoever it was? Well, we have identified him, not a guy from Texas. Did you hear him holler "baby killer"?
I didn't. I've had the recording played back to me a number of times, and I can't recognize the voice. Originally, they said it was someone from California. I was sure it wasn't his voice from what I heard. But, you have to denounce whoever it was. It was absolutely wrong. It was more wrong than the president calling out the Supreme Court during the State of the Union. It was more wrong than even the Joe Wilson comment, because personal attacks, not you're wrong, not even you lie, but personal attacks on the motives and so on of somebody of that sort, inappropriate. Congressman Stupak has been strongly a supporter of finding compromise, if you will, to prevent people's own money from being taken for something they find wrong and reprehensible. And even though I think he made a terrible mistake, I think he sold out, for less than what he should have to protect something he believes in. Ultimately, he doesn't deserve to be insulted on the House floor. And for that, whoever said it, whether it was a member, a staffer, or someone in the gallery, I think all of us I know, denounce it, and rightfully so.
Well, he doesn't seem to know what he agreed to. I mean, it was I saw him with Megyn Kelly yesterday on Fox, and he seems it's kind of stunning. He seems confused. So,
well, as we go through who sold out for what, he, I think, could have been hoodwinked. He certainly did not protect something he felt so strongly about. Plenty of other people, I'm positive, we're going to find out they got, new airports in their district. They got $100 million here. They got something there that they can brag about for years to come. And unfortunately, that's the worst reason to do anything in Washington is this whole log rolling concept of you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and America won't care. Well, America did care for more than a year that if we were going to fix health care, as we have to, it was supposed to cost less, not more. And we failed. We failed whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you voted for it or not. The president's going to sign a bill that will raise taxes but will not lower the cost of health care.
We're talking with the Congressman Darrell Issa here on the Imus Morning program. It is 21 minutes until they are, and while the Congressman Issa was providing us with that last answer, I was talking to Bernie, so I don't have any idea what he said. Anyway, but I'll try to get caught up.
Hey, right.
Well, what I was talking to Bernie about, what you were talking, Congressman, was, are you still there?
Yes, absolutely. I can multitask too.
I can't. Anyway.
Okay, well, anyway, we can sometimes, but you're right, we can't.
What I might have asked Congressman Stupak, is about the $1 million that he got for the airports in his home in there in Michigan. So
Well,
You know
certainly,
anything about that?
many people are going to be questioning that. We're going to be questioning $100 million for a hospital in Connecticut that hasn't been named yet, but the president says is going to be competitively bid. Well, that's okay, except they've already put the money in and they haven't named a hospital.
It's going to be the Chris Dodd Hospital. But
Don, the problem we have, and I know these payoffs, bribes, Louisiana Purchase, they're going to occupy a lot of my committee's time. They're going to occupy a lot of Congress's time. The real question, both before and after the November election, is how could we spend so much time and money and not get it right for the American people? You know, I still employ a number of people. They all have health care, they have medical, they have dental. And the one thing I know is it's not about whether we find a way to get health care insured or paid for. It's the fact that it goes up faster than inflation. You've been active with children with needs because of their illnesses. You know very much that you can bring them down to the ranch and you can do a lot of things, and the cost next year is only going to go up by the same amount as inflation, more or less. But not true of health care. Health care is leading inflation, and if we don't fix it, ultimately it's going to take so much money that there won't be enough money for most people to afford health care. And you can't just say, well, the taxpayers are going to pay it, because they're people too.
is there anything good about this bill?
Oh, absolutely. Even though I don't know that the preemption did it that well, the idea that the government comes in and says, look, we have one overwhelming problem, which is if somebody's got insurance and they want to go from one insurance company to another, the conditions that occurred while they were insured, this portability question, insurance companies ought to just suck it up and assume that they're going to get as many or lose as many as the next insurance company. And that would never have happened without some sort of a state or federal order to include it in the cost of their insurance. The extension of children at a time when failure to launch is becoming pretty common, a few years older, into the mid to late 20s, so that these kids who absolutely think they're immortal actually get coverage, because they're not immortal. They have motorcycle accidents. They have all the things that happen to young people. Those things, absolutely, Republicans and Democrats could have come to an agreement, and you would have had what we call a suspension vote in the House, where we say, look, no rules, two-thirds majority, we've agreed to it, let's do it. And there's a number of others. Where we didn't agree is we didn't agree that there had to be major new programs and major new taxes. It would have been so much easier to pass the part we could have passed, work on these others, and not have this turn into a question of stick it to the rich as though that's going to fix health care.
There are a number of people like you who think that there are good aspects of this bill. I wonder if, as some folks are talking about, that they're going to get even in November at the polls. I wonder if that's actually going to happen.
Well, I think it will. I think because process is something we don't talk too much about in Congress, but maybe we talk even a little bit too much. But the American people don't think this was done transparently, and they don't think it was done fairly, and they don't think it reflects what they wanted. Having said that, I think the president and his people are right in one sense. As they go out there and they sell the few but not insignificantly good things in there, people are going to warm up. They're going to say, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Well, that's partly because it's people over $250,000 that are going to have huge new tax increases to pay for a portion of this program. And, those people probably already had decided that this was pretty unfair, and they'll remember it in November. My concern is not the taxes, it's not the voters, it's the fact we haven't fixed the problem. Just providing portability and just waiving pre-existing conditions is a long way from actually finding ways to drive down the cost of health care. Don, as you know, Canada costs half as much as we cost. It's not a perfect system, but some of the things that cause their cost to be lower, their doctors to do less unnecessary procedures, and yet keep people numerically as healthy as here, living as long as here. Some of those things we're going to have to address sooner or later in both Medicare reform and in liability reform. And, they gave lip service to it, but they didn't put so much as one real tort reform piece into this bill.
Bernard had a pretty good line. He said a lot of people in Canada were upset now because now they can no longer come over here and get good health care. So.
Well, I disagree with that. We will still
Well,
have
it's a joke,
good healthcare
Congressman. Calm
system.
down.
We're just gonna have an expensive one. We all understand that a Bentley is a fine automobile, but it's not a cost-effective way to drive to work. And if you're concerned about value, as good as a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley is, a Chevy gets you just as safely, just as reliably, with better gas mileage to work. We need to use what I used growing up, we need a Chevy system, not a Cadillac system, for the vast majority of people that will allow them to live into their 70s and 80s healthy and without the fear of being without insurance or without health care. And we need to do it sooner or later because it's making us less competitive globally when so much goes into health care that we actually have to charge more for our products when we try to ship them overseas.
Nice to have you on the program again. So.
Well, thanks for having me on, and thanks for playing my favorite songs. I didn't realize how really fun that was until I had them played for me.
Starting to get a little emotional on me, Congressman. It's making me uncomfortable, frankly.
Only so much. I may have to change my songs if I get too emotional.
Baby, thank you. Congressman Darrell Issa on the Imus in the Morning program.
There's something
It's
wrong with
14 till the hour.